What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I, a non-EV owner, spent an entire week with the Honda Prologue. Let's talk about it. If you're interested in the driving experience, I'll have 2 test drive videos linked at the end of the video, but that's not what this one is about. This is about what it's actually like to live with it, coming from someone who isn't necessarily well acquainted with EVs. In a nutshell, the Honda Prologue is made by General Motors, not by Honda, and when you look at it closely, that fact remains pretty obvious, but don't let that distract you from what this thing offers. Let's get into what's most important, the range and the charging experience. This Elite model is rated at up to 273 miles of range. When it was dropped off at my house, it was at around 245 on the charge. I drove it around for a few days, and once it got down to around 120, I decided to try to charge it. I took the included charger, followed the instructions, and plugged it in my garage. Couldn't get it to work. Kept giving me an error message that it couldn't charge. Then I said, okay, well, there's a supercharger at ShopRite. I'll go later tonight to avoid other people waiting for it. Boy, was I wrong. At 10:30 on a Thursday night, there was a long line for that supercharger. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how the superchargers work, they're connected to different networks, and the one that I was using was called EVgo. You have to use the EVgo app to charge your vehicle, so after I registered, I didn't want to have to do it all over again with another app. So I looked and saw that the next closest EVgo station was 2 towns away, but there was no line. So I go, and I was out there looking like an idiot, struggling to get this thing to charge. And then the nice gentleman in the Tesla next to me helped me out. I sat there for 40 minutes and I got the range from 105 up to about 220 on a level 3 CCS connection. And that charge cost me $27. I thought charging an EV was supposed to be cheaper than gas. Definitely not in the case of my Honda Civic. And I'm not gonna lie, that experience was rather off-putting, but I think it's more of an EV problem than a Honda Prologue problem. That's just kind of where we're at in the world of EVs, and it's very understandable that many people are hesitant to buy one. If you have a supercharger installed at your house and don't typically stray too far from home, that's probably a good situation for an EV. Otherwise, definitely not for me. But with the whole charging part out of the way, the Honda Prologue is a great vehicle, GM parts and all. So let's get into the power numbers. The Honda Prologue Elite is dual motor with all-wheel drive. It makes a combined 288 horsepower and 333 pound-feet of torque. And that is paired to an electronic 1-speed automatic. 0 to 60 is rated at 5.8 seconds. This can tow up to 1,500 pounds. This can DC fast charge from 20 to 80% in 35 minutes. The equivalent fuel economy is as follows. Combined 95 miles per gallon, 101 in the city, 88 on the highway, and the capacity of the battery is 85 kilowatt hours. Alright, now let's go over the exterior design. So the front end of the Honda Prologue looks like an actual Honda. So I'll give GM that. They did pretty good on the exterior at differentiating the Honda from the GM. Can't say the same for the interior, and you'll see what I mean. But this front end, it looks very Honda. There is a large opening down at the very bottom, but there is no upper part because, well, it's an EV. Doesn't require the same venting that a normal gas engine does. I think the gloss black trim at the top looks good. That goes between the headlights. You have your Honda badge there. The forward-facing camera is tucked right underneath. Down at the bottom, there are some large functional side air curtains, LED fog lights tucked in the bottom right there. The headlights look just like the rest of the Honda lineup. The LED daytime running light and the turn signal are the same, glowing white or amber depending on the mode. That sits at the top of the headlight housing. The rest of it is split into 3 sections. The 2 outer ones are the low beam, and then the part in the middle is your high beam. Nice clean front end overall. Turning to the side, blacked out power folding mirrors with LED turn signal indicators, lots of gloss black accents along the sides. Your door handles are gloss black, window trim is gloss black, roof rails up top are gloss black, lower door trim and the wheel arches. And you can see here on the side profile, very long wheelbase. And that long wheelbase is what allows for more interior room, specifically leg room in the back seat. You're not really gonna find any sharp lines. All the body lines are kind of softened and rounded, but still a very clean look. Now, taking a look here at the wheel and tire setup, this is a two-tone 21-inch wheel, machined aluminum with gloss black accents. Very interesting design. Another giveaway that this car is GM and not Honda is the fact that the wheels have 6 lug nuts instead of 5. But I think it's a very nice wheel design, different, but I like it. The tires it's riding on are Bridgestone Alenza Enlighten All Season, and the size is 275/45. Turning to the rear, you can see the rear glass is sloped and the back kind of sticks out. There is a small deck lid spoiler blacked out that comes out from the top. You do get a rear wiper. The taillights are full LED. They look kind of similar to the headlights with that line that goes across the top. The rest of the housing underneath is not red. It has kind of a smoked clear finish. Looks very new and modern. And just like up front, there's a gloss black bar that connects the 2 lights in the rear. And this right here is a first for Honda. They took the Honda badge and instead spelled out the word Honda. The bumper down at the very bottom has 2 integrated reflectors. It's gloss black, but also has a big silver accent in the middle. Opening up the hands-free power liftgate, off to the left side is a 12-volt outlet. There's additional storage underneath the floor. There are no buttons to raise or lower the second row seats. It's only manual. With all the seats up, there is 23.7 cubic feet of space, and after dropping it down, you now have 54.5 cubic feet of cargo space. And a quick shout out to this video sponsor, FitCam X. FitCam X is a custom hardwired 4K dash cam that is made for your specific car's interior with no exposed wires showing. And it connects to your phone via the FitCam X app. And they're offering all my viewers 10% off everything on their site using promo code OPTICAL. Link in the description. So now we are inside the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue Elite, and if you're familiar with other Honda vehicles, when stepping inside here, you may feel just a little bit lost. So yeah, let's address the elephant in the room right away. This is very much a General Motors interior. All the parts are General Motors, the software is General Motors, the switches, the door handles, the climate controls, the steering wheel, even the seats. So not very Honda-like in here. However, that does not make it bad. So let's dive a little deeper and let's see why. All right, so starting up here on the dash, this has like a 2-tier kind of dash with the material. On the back here, it's black and it's nice soft touch. On the front here, we have leatherette. This is the 2-tone colorway interior. This is the black with the gray. Very soft on the leatherette and soft behind it as well. So when you open the door, that ding is just, oh, there's no way to turn that off. It's just gonna keep going, so just ignore that. So taking a look here at the door panel, up at the top here, same soft touch as up here on the dash. Feels nice. You'll notice the door handle along with the memory seat buttons. That's all like Chevy controls. Small strip of gloss black there. And then again, we have the 2-tone with the gray up here and on the armrest. This part here is all piano gloss black. Down below, you do get a trunk release button, but this is all hard plastic at the bottom. All right, now taking a look here at the seats, I actually really like the seats. They have the 2-tone colorway again, except they have this really cool kind of light brown contrast stitching going around. Very comfortable seats, entirely perforated in the middle. They're heated and ventilated, and 2 memory settings for the driver. The steering wheel, as I mentioned before, is all GM. You can tell that from the buttons. You do get a heated wheel, which is nice. You'll also notice that the stalks are very different. On the right here, usually this is where your windshield wipers are on other Hondas. It's the transmission selector now. And on this side, it's usually, you know, your turn signal, which it still is, but your headlight controls are usually on a knob right here, but instead your wipers are all right here. And this is for the rear wiper. And speaking of the headlights, the controls aren't over here at all. You actually have to go into the screen to use them. To get to your headlights, you have to go into this little icon up here at the top, and a small menu shows up with your different options. But to get the full menu to come up, you go into controls, see more controls, lights. Then you have your controls for your fog lights, your auto high beams. I have to say, I think having the dial at the end of the stalk is certainly a lot easier. And the weirdest thing of all when it comes to the steering wheel controls are the buttons on the back. You see there's two buttons right here, up and down. This is the volume button. So at first, I couldn't even find it. I had to look up where it was because I was losing my mind saying, where the hell is the volume switch on the wheel? So this is the right side. You have your volume up and down here. And then over here on this side, this is your fast forward and rewind for the audio. But with all the little GM nuances aside, it's a nice wheel. It's leather wrapped, nice baseball style white contrast stitching on the inside. Different for a Honda, yes, but bad, no. This button right here toggles through the gauge display. You can have it do full map thanks to the Google built-in. You can have it show driver assist with your audio on the right, speed and tire pressure. And yeah, I like the level of customization that this gives you. Up above the wheel here, we have a nice head-up display. It can show your navigation directions while you're driving, audio, you know, anything you want, really. And I think this is one of the better head-up displays that I've seen. All right, we're gonna switch to nighttime real quick, and that's to show off the really nice ambient lighting that we get in here. It goes across the dash underneath the screen. It's on all four doors as well. And there are 10 different colors to choose from. Here in the center of the interior is an 11.3-inch infotainment touchscreen. And again, if you're familiar with the Honda interface, you'll see that, well, this is not it. This infotainment system is entirely GM. But that's, again, that's not a bad thing because GM makes one of the better infotainment systems in the auto industry. So this has Google built in, which allows for other Google apps to be run on it, as well as the full screen navigation on the gauge cluster. But with that, you get Google Assistant, you get the Play Store to download different apps. Of course, you have your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth USB audio. Because this is GM, you get both Honda Link and OnStar from Chevy. This has a Wi-Fi hotspot included. It comes with Waze and Spotify preloaded, along with Google News. And with Google built in, this also has a native Google Maps app separate from what you use on CarPlay. If we look at the camera here, 360 and backup camera, got some different viewing angles. And then the backup camera, trajectory lines, and distance markers. The Prologue Elite has a 12-speaker Bose premium audio system, so let's take a quick listen while driving. Here in the center, we have the climate control switches. Again, not Honda buttons. These are all from GM. They are piano gloss black. Dual zone climate. You have your ventilated seat controls, heated seat controls, zone, on and off, fan speed, temperature, defrosters, all that good stuff. As far as connections go, up here in the front, we have two USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet. Big area right here to put stuff on. Also down below, another big area to put more stuff. Of course, you got your two cup holders and you get a wireless charger. Inside the center armrest opens up. You have a small coin tray up here at the top, but the space inside here is massive. You can put a ton of stuff in there. And inside the glove box, pretty decent size. Up above, we have a nice, really large panoramic moonroof. Okay, so now I'm in the back seat right behind where I'd have the front seat adjusted for myself at 6 feet tall. And I have probably about 4 inches or so of legroom to spare, which is pretty good. Another thing to note, the floor back here is completely flat. You also get a pocket behind each seat on both sides. Down below in the center, there are 2 air vents, but there is no control center. Small storage pocket right there. And then down below for connections, we have 2 USB-C ports and a full-sized home power outlet with a 3rd prong. So with this, you'll be able to charge a laptop or, you know, whatever other items you have that require more power. In the center, we have an armrest and a nice little tab to pull it down. You got your 2 cup holders and pretty soft, not bad. MSRP of this fully loaded 2024 Honda Prologue Elite all-wheel drive is $59,750, but this does qualify for the EV tax credit worth $7,500 from the government. So that is going to wrap up this review of my week with the 2024 Honda Prologue. Big thank you to Honda for sending me this vehicle to review, to keep for a week, to really get to know well and be able to share my experiences accurately. If you're in northern New Jersey or the New York City metro area, be sure to check out Route 23 Honda in Pompton Plains. Let me know your thoughts on the new Honda Prologue down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Let me know down in the comments what other vehicles you want to see on the channel next, and be sure to follow @OpticalAutomotive on TikTok and Instagram, and check out the page on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.